What if the fruits that you currently have in your kitchen, fruits that you have always thought are healthy for your heart, digestion, and energy, were subtly weakening your legs, making you feel weaker, less stable, and more prone to fall, and you were unaware of it? This is not a far-flung theory. Millions of people over 60 deal with this issue on a daily basis. And the most concerning aspect? The majority of them are unaware of the true cause. Welcome back to Leg Wisdom 60 Plus, where we offer health advice that is relevant to your life at this moment. You're not alone if you've been experiencing unsteady legs, nighttime cramps, or a decline in confidence with each step. Today, you'll learn something that most doctors never tell you. Some fruits, yes, even the ones we were told were healthy, may be the cause of all of that. You see, your body starts to process things differently after the age of 60. The flow of blood slows down. Muscles recover more slowly. It becomes more difficult to absorb the minerals that maintain stable legs and strong joints. You are not to blame. It's a natural aspect of growing older. What you put on your plate, however, is something you can control. The truth is that older adults frequently eat 3 fruits that may appear innocuous or even helpful. However, they are subtly weakening your legs, altering your blood sugar, and interfering with your muscle balance. The cause might be closer than you think if you have stiff knees or have been unsteady when getting up from the couch. However, there is good news. You can begin to notice noticeable changes in a matter of days once you know what to eat and what to avoid. Legs that are stronger, fewer cramps, a more stable stride, free from the need to balance or rely on a cane. Therefore, click the subscribe button now if that sounds like the kind of change you want to see in your life. To help us make sure we're reaching the right people, please type the number 1 in the comments section below if this message already seems to be speaking to you. Tell us where you're watching from, and stay tuned, because today's message could be the secret to feeling younger and walking taller once more. Let's get started. Our bodies undergo subtle changes as we age. It might seem insignificant at first. You walk a little more slowly than you used to, getting out of a chair requires a little more work, or perhaps your legs feel exhausted after a quick walk down the hall. However, these are frequently warning signs rather than merely normal signs of aging. Indications that the internal systems of your body, particularly the ones related to circulation, nutrient absorption, and muscle regeneration, are changing more quickly than you may have thought. The heart continues to beat after age 60. However, blood no longer flows as quickly as it did in youth. Your legs' small blood vessels, which maintain the suppleness of your joints and the nutrition of your muscles, start to constrict. This implies a slower rate of recovery, less oxygen, and fewer nutrients. It also indicates that waste materials and toxins from your cells are not eliminated as effectively. All of this results in silent inflammation, which develops in your knees, ankles, and hips long before you experience any real pain. Additionally, your muscles react differently. Your legs may have been strengthened by a walk or a few flights of stairs when you were younger. However, the same activity can now leave you exhausted if you don't have enough of the proper minerals, such as potassium and magnesium, and if your blood flow isn't adequate. Your legs no longer rebuild as well as they once did. In actuality, many people start losing 1% to 2% of their muscle mass annually after the age of 60. If poor nutrition is present, that percentage doubles. According to the National Institute on Aging, over 1/3 of seniors over 65 experience severe leg weakness. That weakness is more than just discomfort. It means a devastating loss of independence, an increased risk of hip fractures, and a doubled risk of falling. It becomes annoying or even frightening to do things like go grocery shopping, climb stairs, or stand at the kitchen counter. You might be surprised to learn that many seniors did not begin this downward spiral due to an illness or injury. It began with the incorrect fruit, consumed each morning. Believed to be healthy, it is actually causing inflammation, disrupting your electrolyte balance, and subtly weakening your legs with each bite. But that doesn't have to be your story now that you're here, hearing this. I'll show you which fruits to stay away from in a moment, starting with the one that's probably on your kitchen counter at the moment. It's gentle, comforting, and sweet, but it's also subtly harmful for those over 60. Give me a minute to take you back. Imagine getting out of bed in the morning. As the sun peeks through the window, you shuffle to the kitchen, possibly still wearing your slippers, and grab a banana, just like you've done for years. You think, that's when it's sweetest, even though it's a little soft and has some brown spots on the peel. You eat it, perhaps with toast or by itself, because that's when it tastes the best. Safe, isn't it? Now picture this occurring daily. You might not be aware of it, but this seemingly harmless habit may be weakening your legs, causing joint damage, and triggering a series of bodily reactions that mimic the normal aging process, but aren't. That banana is more than just sweet, especially when it's overripe. It's sweet. Compared to white bread, it has a higher glycemic index. Your blood sugar spikes within 20 minutes of eating it. When you were 30, that might not have been a huge deal. However, your body's insulin response slows down after the age of 60. The sugar rush doesn't go away easily. Rather, it persists, and your body tries to correct it. It slowly releases insulin. Researchers now refer to this delay as a cascade of inflammation. Your knees, ankles, and hips, the joints you use the most, are where this inflammation silently settles. Unbeknownst to you, this reaction is causing muscle tissue to break down, decreasing leg circulation, and causing leg cramps at night as you go about your day. Do you have those unexpected calf spasms that occur at night? Do you have trouble falling asleep because of that twitching in your feet? Age is often cited as the cause. However, something as inconspicuous as a slightly overripe banana might be the true culprit. You see, bananas do contain potassium, which is good for you. However, they also alter your potassium to magnesium ratio, particularly if you eat them with low-protein foods or by themselves. Leg cramps, nerve sensitivity, and a progressive loss of your muscles' capacity to contract and relax correctly are all caused by that imbalance. According to a University of California study, seniors who regularly consumed overripe bananas were 2.4 times more likely to get leg cramps at night. Around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, many people reported afternoon crashes, that hefty dragging sensation. Their steps were erratic, and their legs felt heavy. Age wasn't the only factor. It was that sugar rush every day. But bananas are always on the healthy food list, you may be asking yourself. Now, why would they harm me? Since you weren't the intended recipient of those lists. They were designed with younger people in mind. Athletes, busy adults with robust circulation and quick metabolisms, not for a 70-year-old trying to maintain their independence without using a walker or to rebuild leg strength following a fall. And no one tells you that part. After 60, your body changes. Its method of processing sugar is different. Muscles are not repaired as quickly. Therefore, unless they are a part of a well-balanced, protein-rich meal, which is not how most people eat them, eating overripe bananas, even though they are high in potassium, does more harm than good. We met Shirley, a 72-year-old former school librarian from Indiana. She asked us why her legs always felt weak by noon. When we looked at her food journal, we discovered that she had a banana with her coffee every morning, something she believed to be simply a result of getting older. That was it. Her cramps subsided after a week of substituting a boiled egg and half an avocado for that banana. 3 weeks later, she was able to walk farther and with greater assurance than she had in months. What is the lesson then? You don't have to permanently give up bananas. Your legs are suffering, though, if they're soft, brown, and sweet enough to feel like dessert. Try avoiding them for just 7 days. Simple, blood sugar-stable foods should be used in their place. A half of an avocado, some steamed sweet potatoes, or even plain Greek yogurt. Without the crash, these provide you with the minerals your muscles require. Above all, pay attention to your legs. They will be able to tell you whether something is helping or hurting you more clearly than any doctor could. Tell us in the comments if this describes how you've been feeling, such as waking up exhausted, limping after breakfast, or rubbing your calves in the middle of the night. If you're prepared to try the switch for a week, write "No more bananas." Remember that this is only the beginning. In order to avoid missing the next 2 fruits that might be subtly depleting your energy, click subscribe. I have a question for you. Have you ever gone to the refrigerator late at night in search of something light and sweet like ice cream or candy? And there they are, red grapes in a bunch, juicy, cool, and simple to pop into your mouth. They have a harmless feeling, even in good health. After all, grapes are frequently mentioned by doctors as good for aging, heart health, and antioxidants. However, the truth that almost no one shares is that red grapes may be more harmful than beneficial for elderly people, particularly those who are already experiencing leg weakness. They appear to be the ideal snack at first glance. However, if you look more closely, you'll see that grapes are high in free sugar, mostly fructose and glucose, with very little fiber to slow it down. This is true both inside your body and outside of your refrigerator. This implies that the sugar enters your bloodstream quickly after those delicious little spheres land in your stomach. This might not have much of an impact on a young person's body. However, in an elderly person, someone who may already have joint stiffness, borderline insulin resistance, or some wear and tear in their circulation, an insulin spike, an increase in blood sugar, and low-grade inflammation that ends up where you don't want it to, in your knees, ankles, and hips, can all result from that sugar overload. You know how it feels to have heavy legs? Like even though you haven't walked far, your calves are exhausted? Usually that isn't from the walk. It comes from the food you consumed right before it. But grapes have resveratrol, you may be asking yourself. Isn't that beneficial to me? Yes. The skin of red grapes contains the antioxidant resveratrol. The catch is that in order to obtain the dosage that studies discuss, you would need to consume hundreds of grapes. The real quantity in a typical bunch? There's more than enough sugar to hurt, but not enough to help. And there's still another problem. The glycemic index of grapes ranges from 59 to 66, contingent on their level of ripeness. White rice is comparable to that. The distinction is that eating grapes doesn't make you feel as though you're consuming something sugary. They are so cunning because of this. We had a conversation with a man from North Carolina named Joseph. He was 74 years old, a retired postal worker, and proud to have given up soda and candy years prior. Nevertheless, he continued to watch TV every night while eating a bowl of grapes. But his legs hurt every morning. His balance was off, and he remarked, "It feels like they're made of concrete." He walked shakily. He was dubious when we proposed removing the grapes for 10 days, saying, "They're just grapes." But he tried it. His legs felt lighter by the 6th day. He didn't even have to sit down to walk his dog a few blocks farther than normal. Is it a coincidence? We don't believe so. You might be surprised to learn that grapes' skins start to oxidize after a few days in the refrigerator. This can result in the production of trace chemicals called aldehydes, which are safe for young, healthy individuals, but can irritate the gut lining and the microvessels that aid in the absorption of nutrients in older adults. Poor circulation, nutrient loss, and even chronic joint swelling may be subtly caused by that irritation. According to a study in the Journal of Geriatric Medicine, older adults who experienced frequent blood sugar fluctuations, even if they were mild and came from natural sugar sources, lost leg muscle mass 27% more quickly than those whose levels remained stable. And you know what was one of the most frequent reasons for those swings? Fruit. Soft, sweet fruit, with grapes at the top of the list. However, this does not imply that grapes are bad. However, if you've been having legs that shake after eating, after sitting for a long time, a peculiar unsteadiness, or sudden unexpected leg cramps at night, consider taking a 10-day grape break, only 10 days. To support your blood sugar, replace them with a small bowl of berries or a slice of pear with a spoonful of almond butter. These foods are high in fiber and healthy fats. And observe your feelings. This one small adjustment could hasten the process of rebuilding leg strength if you're already stretching, eating better, and attempting to walk more. Because exercise isn't the only way to build strength. What you eat either protects it or destroys it. Put no more grapes in the comments if you're prepared to put the grapes on hold and try something different. To ensure you don't miss the last item on today's list, please click the subscribe button if you haven't already, because although grapes and bananas are bad, the third one might be the most unexpected. Imagine a sweltering afternoon. The air is warm and still as you sit outside, possibly on the porch, and you grab a cool, juicy watermelon slice. That sensation, clear, cool, and airy, transports you back to those carefree summer days. No worries, no guilt. Isn't it just fruit? It seems like the world's most innocuous thing. However, that harmless wedge of watermelon might be subtly harming those of us over 60, particularly those who already struggle with leg stiffness, balance issues, or nighttime cramps. Allow me to present Mr. Raymond to you. In Arizona, we met him at a standard health consultation. He was slender, 69, and abstained from soda, fried food, and sweets. His diet appeared to be nearly ideal on paper. Nevertheless, he felt unsteady when he got up every morning, just like clockwork. His knees trembled. His limbs felt hollow. Like walking on stilts, he said. And at night? The cramps. His calves would spasm every night. He had experimented with stretching, magnesium, and even compression socks. What then was the issue? Every night after dinner, he would eat 2 large slices of watermelon, and it was clearly visible in his food journal. He always had a cool treat before bed. Furthermore, he was unaware that watermelon, despite its refreshing qualities, has a glycemic index of 72. Of all the fruits, that is one of the highest. It indicates that your blood sugar rises quickly, and if your body isn't making insulin as much as it once did, which is common after the age of 60, the sugar has nowhere to go. It persists. Additionally, it exacerbates inflammation in your knees, ankles, and hips, areas that are already susceptible to aging. Inflammation doesn't always immediately feel painful. It can feel like swelling at times, or similar to leg heaviness, or that strange feeling you get after sitting for a long time when your legs don't want to wake up. Some people experience cramps at night that cause their calves and toes to twist while they sleep. Additionally, watermelon can subtly worsen low electrolytes or diuretics, which are common for heart conditions or high blood pressure. You see, more than 90% of watermelon is water. That may seem beneficial, but it can lower your mineral levels, particularly those of potassium and magnesium, which are essential for your muscles to contract and relax. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed 2 cups of watermelon every day for 10 days experienced a discernible decrease in leg vascular elasticity, which means that their leg veins were not pumping blood as efficiently. Later in the evening, they were also more susceptible to glucose crashes. You wake up with cramps or feel lightheaded when you stand up too quickly because of that crash, that dip. To be clear, watermelon is not bad. However, if you're over 60 experiencing leg weakness and eating it without properly balancing it, it's not a good time to do so. Watermelon contains very little fiber, very little fat, and virtually no protein. It's a sugar rush. Your muscles are not supported by it. Your joints are not rebuilt by it. Additionally, eating it by yourself causes your legs to suffer while you sleep, especially at night. If your feet are numb or feel cold, if you've been having cramps in the morning that force you to stretch in the dark, this might be the cause if you've ever stood up and felt the room tilt slightly. So, this is what we recommend. For 7 days, try a watermelon break. A small bowl of plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon can be used in its place. Or, kiwi slices topped with chia seeds, something that has fiber, protein, and anti-inflammatory properties. Fruit is not something you have to give up. Simply put, you need to pick fruit that suits you now rather than one that did so 40 years ago. Then observe the outcome. Many claim that the cramps begin to lessen by day 3. They get a deeper sleep by day 5. Their legs feel more stable by day 7. It's the outcome of providing your body with what it truly needs, not magic. Put "no more watermelon" in the comments if you're prepared to give it a try. And if you've ever experienced that sudden cramp in the middle of the night or that shaky leg feeling in the morning, please share this video with someone else who might be experiencing the same thing in silence. You never know who you might be able to assist. Remember to hit the subscribe button right away because we'll be revealing 3 fruits in the next section of this journey that will help you regain your strength, balance, and maintain strong, pain-free legs naturally. It's simple to assume that growing older entails embracing weakness. That nightly cramps, unsteady steps, and stiff knees are all normal. However, a lot of what we've come to accept as normal aging is actually just unchecked habits that we were unaware were harming us. A banana that was too ripe for breakfast, a few grapes at night. After supper, a juicy slice of watermelon on their own, they appear innocuous. However, they subtly start to change how your legs move, how your joints feel, and how you stand or fall day after day, week after week. However, you are not helpless. You actually regained control the instant you made the decision to watch this video in order to learn something new. And for that, we should be proud. Because you can regain your strength at any age, you can increase circulation, you have more self-assurance when you walk. Additionally, it doesn't require costly treatments or intricate diet plans. It requires consciousness, regularity, and the readiness to make tiny, sensible decisions each day. Now you know which 3 fruits to stay away from if you want to maintain stable, strong legs. However, this is only the start. The 3 fruits you should eat to support your joints, build muscle, and help you regain energy that you thought had long since vanished will be demonstrated in the upcoming video. Don't leave without clicking the subscribe button, please. Please take a moment to share this if it was helpful, if it opened your eyes, or if it made you think of someone else you care about. You never know who might be in need of this knowledge today. Finally, write these 4 words in the comments section below. I choose stronger every day. This is a declaration rather than a catchphrase. You are making the decision to proceed with courage, direction, and clarity. Your diagnosis does not define you. You're not your age. One powerful step at a time, you can still stand tall, move freely, and lead the life you deserve. And we'll be here for you at every turn.